My sister begged me to co-sign her $50,000 wedding loan. I caved, mostly because my parents guilt-tripped me into it, but I wasn't going down without a plan. I added one tiny clause to the paperwork, something no one really noticed, until she and her new husband ditched the debt and skipped the country. They thought they got away with everything, until the collection agency called my mom. Update 1. I stood in the shadows of the grand ballroom, watching my sister twirl in her $10,000 wedding dress, while my credit score burned. The crystal chandeliers caught every sparkle of her tiara, and her laughter echoed off the marble floors, the same laugh she'd used 3 months ago when she'd begged me to co-sign her loan. My name is Lada, and I'm the responsible sister, the boring one, the one who always comes through in a crisis. Tonight, I'm also the one holding a ticking time bomb disguised as a loan agreement. Zlata, darling, why aren't you dancing? My mother, Elena's voice carried that familiar note of disapproval. She gestured to the crowded dance floor, where Sierra and her new husband, Eric, were lost in their own world. Someone has to make sure the vendors get paid, I replied, tapping my tablet. Unless you'd like to handle the final payments. She wrinkled her nose and adjusted her designer shawl. That's what you're good at, dear. Numbers. Sierra's always been our creative spirit. I bit back the response I'd been swallowing for 27 years. Instead, I smiled and pulled up the loan document on my screen, checking for the 100th time that the clause was still there, buried in the fine print like a landmine. Remember when she first showed us the venue? My mother continued, misreading my silence for nostalgia. She just knew it had to be here. Worth every penny, $50,000 of them, to be exact. I remembered that day too, but differently. Please, Lada, Sierra had sobbed, mascara running down her cheeks. The bank won't approve us without a cosigner. You're the only one with good enough credit. That's because I actually pay my bills, I'd said. It's what family does. Our father had chimed in from his armchair, not looking up from his newspaper. Your sister would do the same for you. I'd almost laughed at that. Sierra had never done anything for anyone except herself. I'll pay every payment, I swear, Sierra had promised, clutching my hands. Eric's startup is about to take off, and we'll be loaded. Please, please, please. Now I watched Eric whisper something in Sierra's ear, making her giggle. He caught my eye across the room, and raised his champagne glass with a wink. I raised mine back, wondering if he knew about the clause yet, wondering if either of them had actually read the paperwork before signing it. Mrs. Foster, a wedding planner, materialized beside me. The photographer wants to know if we're still doing the sunset photos on the terrace. Of course we are, I said. Sierra appeared, dragging Eric by the hand. Zlata, you're in these too. You have to. You made all this possible. If she only knew how true that was. I let myself be pulled outside. The setting sun painted everything gold, including Sierra's perfect face as she posed against the balustrade. Our parents joined us, and the photographer arranged us like dolls. The happy family, the perfect wedding, the American dream. Closer together, the photographer called. Big smiles. This is a celebration. I smiled, thinking about the email I'd received that morning from Genesis, my friend in legal. It's bulletproof, she'd written. The clause is active the moment they miss a payment. If they leave the country without setting up a payment plan, liability reverts to the original sponsors. Your parents signed it too. Remember? I remembered every signature, every tear-filled manipulation, every guilt trip that had led to this moment. One more, the photographer called. Everyone say happily ever after. Sierra threw her arms around me, champagne on her breath. I love you so much, sis. You're the best, the absolute best. Over her shoulder, I watched Eric check his phone, his face momentarily serious, before he slipped it back into his pocket. 3 weeks ago, I'd seen him book 2 one-way tickets to a country with no extradition treaty. He didn't know I knew. Back in my hotel room that night, I opened my laptop one final time. The loan agreement glowed on the screen, signatures clear at the bottom, Sierra's loopy scroll, Eric's confident slash, my parents' hasty scribbles, and my own careful print below them all. The clause waited like a coiled snake. I touched the screen gently. Let's see who pays now. My phone buzzed. A text from Sierra. Thank you for everything. You're the best sister anyone could ask for. Love you forever. I didn't reply. Instead, I closed my laptop and poured myself a drink. The real wedding gift was still coming, and I intended to be very, very patient while I waited to deliver it. 6 months after the wedding, I sat in my favorite coffee shop, staring at my phone's call log. 32 attempted calls to Sierra, 16 to Eric, and 48 unanswered text messages. The first loan payment was 3 weeks overdue. You're obsessing again, Genesis said, sliding into the seat across from me with 2 fresh lattes. How many times have you checked Instagram today? I picked up my phone, opened the app, and turned it to show her. Sierra's latest post showed her and Eric on some tropical beach, cocktails in hand. The caption read, "Living our best life, debt-free and destiny-bound, chakra blessed, Shakti, new life. Shock, no regrets." Genesis's perfectly manicured nails drummed against the table. You knew this would happen. Knowing doesn't make it sting less. I switched to my messages, and showed her the text my mother had sent that morning. The bank called again. Please handle this slot. You know how your father's blood pressure gets when he's stressed. Have you told them about the clause yet? Genesis asked. Not yet, I'm waiting. My phone buzzed. A voicemail from Sierra. I put it on speaker. Hey sis, sorry I've been so hard to reach. The Wi-Fi here is just awful. Listen, about those payment notices you keep forwarding, I know you'll figure it out. You always do. You're so good with money stuff. Anyway, love you, don't work too hard. Genesis's eyes widened. The audacity, she muttered. Wait for it, I said, holding up a finger. The message continued. Oh, and could you maybe stop calling so much? It's kind of desperate, and Eric says it's bringing down our vibe. Thanks, kisses. I deleted the message while Genesis muttered something unprintable. You sure you want to go through with this? She asked. Legally, you're safe. Morally, let them drown. It's not about them drowning, I said, pulling up my email. It's about making sure everyone gets wet. My phone buzzed again. My mother's Lada. Please call me. The bank is being very insistent. I showed Genesis the draft email I'd prepared for the loan agency. Attached was the contract with the clause highlighted, along with proof of Sierra and Eric's departure from the country. Send it, Genesis said firmly. Stop torturing yourself. Now you can watch the second part by pressing share and more.